everyone, and welcome to another Deconstructing Leftist program. And today I'm going to be deconstructing a person that calls themselves a skeptical heretic. That's the name of the channel. I just recently did a video where I was talking about how, in my opinion, there is no good reason for anybody to deconstruct from Christianity, that there's nothing to gain from it. It's only going to bring you misery and it's only going to be bad no matter what, and that you cannot trust any of the sources that they use to deconstruct. So it really still all comes down to what you put your faith in. But I came across the skeptical heretic, and she has a video out where she talks about 5 things that she claims make it where her life is better because she left Christianity, because she did go through the deconstruction movement. Now, what I want to do is I want to respond to these 5 different things. Now, you might be thinking within yourself, well, maybe in her way of looking at things, her life is better because of it. I can understand that. And in a way, I almost wouldn't have even dealt with these things. But I also feel like that the material she put out is very misleading. So I am going to go ahead and deconstruct her on today's program. So anyway, stand by for that. I'm going to deconstruct this lady's program about how that her life is supposed to be 5 things that are better about her life since she left Christianity. The first thing that she claims is better about her life since she left Christianity is that she says it's improved how she interacts with others. She says it has positively changed her interaction. And what she's talking about is she's saying that when she was a Christian, that there were is us versus them type of mentality, that those that were outside of the faith that she didn't have much contact with, and it was always discouraged to have contact with them. And she mentions like groups like LGBTQ and stuff like that, because the church looked at them in a negative light, and so it was like in her makeup and in her thoughts to look at them negatively too. And she also mentions that there were people that were hurt and abused by Christians, and she says they are dismissed. Now, let's look at the thing about the people being dismissed and the way she means it. She said that like somebody will come up to a Christian and they will say some terrible thing they went through, a terrible experience they had in church that drove them out of the church. And this led to them eventually deconstructing and turning away from the faith. And the reaction that Christians would give was, well, that wasn't God, it was somebody in the church. She's calling that being dismissive. That's exactly what I would say to somebody that told me that, and I have said that to people. I'm not being dismissive of what they went through in the church. A lot of time I'll tell them right up front that what they went through in the church was terrible, that the person wasn't behaving in a Christ-like Christian manner. But at the same time, I will point out to them that that was not God that did it. And so I can understand them leaving a church, a local congregation, but not God. So to me, I totally disagree with her about that being dismissive of anything. I think it's just actually telling the truth about it. Now, she says it positively changed her interactions with others, basically saying because of the us versus them mentality, now she is open to looking at everybody as individuals and not having prejudices or biases against them. And I'm going to say that I don't believe her. Why is that? Because she's just changed who her us versus them is against. She's just changed who she's biased against. Instead of the us being us versus them being a Christian against these non-Christians, Now she's the non-Christian, and I don't believe for a second that she doesn't have biases against evangelical Christians. Now she may turn around and say, well, yeah, but that's because of their biases. Doesn't matter. Evangelical Christians are a group who are living out their faith. And unless she is able to say absolutely that she has no issues with evangelical Christians, then all she's done is change sides. She is not any more open to everybody and tolerant to everybody than she ever was before. She's just changed who her intolerance is towards. I've seen that among a lot of other people too. They'll claim they're tolerant of everybody, but when you get down to evangelical Christians, no, they're very intolerant of evangelical Christians. Now, this is my personal feeling about her. She might turn around and claim that's not true. If she does, so be it. But I have some serious doubts about it, especially after watching her videos. She says that, number 2, she no longer has the saving souls burden. Well, what she was saying is she had a burden before that she was failing God if she didn't win a bunch of souls to the Lord, like it was her duty to do that. I don't have that burden. What I have a burden to do is to share the truth about Jesus to people. But if they say no to it, I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. I've done what I could. I've told them the truth. And if you tell somebody the truth and they don't want to be saved, you simply move on to someone else, because this world is full of people. America itself's got over 300 million people. And so I don't feel any obligation to stand around and beg somebody to get saved. And if they don't, feel like a failure. I don't feel that burden at all. So I don't know what she's talking about. The only burden is just to share the truth. She shares what she thinks is truth right now on her videos. I don't believe they are. I believe what she's sharing now are lies. But she's got something that's causing her to share what she's sharing online. And she's doing no different than me. If I'm sharing the good news about Jesus Christ, I'm doing the same thing she is, except in reverse. We're just on opposite sides. And again, the only thing I'm obligated to do is share the truth. The Bible even says that if we don't warn the wicked, then they'll die in their sins, but we will be held accountable. But if we do warn the wicked and they refuse to listen to us and they die in their sins, we're clear in the matter. We've done our duty. We've warned them. Now you might say, well, you haven't warned enough. I'm doing the best I can with who I am and my circumstances in my circle that I'm in. And so I am trying to warn people. I'm doing it in video presentations right now. However many people want to listen. But if they do not listen, no, I don't feel any burden that I have to do that. I just got to share the truth with them. She says that she now has the ability to evaluate information without biases. And when she's talking about doing that, she's talking about things like Big Bang, evolution, Noah's Ark, dinosaurs, just things like that. And she's saying that now she can look at it without a bias. And again, I'm going to challenge that. No, she can't. She's got a bias. Here's the difference. She's just changed sides again. It's what she's putting her faith in. In order to believe in the things that she's talking about, Big Bang and evolution and all that kind of stuff, she has to put her faith in the word of people that claim they know science or whatever other thing that they're claiming they know about. She's having to put her faith in people that claim that Noah's Ark couldn't have happened. She's actually just taking a different side on the matter. With regard to dinosaurs, she's also doing the same thing. Now, I personally believe in dinosaurs, and I believe in the Genesis account of creation. I've brought this up before. I believe that it is an old earth, and that I believe in what they call the gap theory. I believe that there was other creations before this creation, that our Bible only talks about this creation, but that God had other creations that he destroyed and started over. And with the case of the dinosaur age, I believe he just destroyed it with a fast freeze. They call it an ice age. So I do believe in the dinosaurs. But at the same time, she's saying that, I guess, to believe in dinosaurs, you can't believe in the Genesis account of creation. That's nonsense. There's no reason whatsoever you have to believe one way or the other about it. If you're skeptical dinosaurs existed, that's your business too. But she says she's got ability to evaluate information. Well, I can evaluate information. I've been listening to the other side. I've been looking into the stuff they're saying, but I have noticed that you have to act on faith to believe what they're saying. They don't have proof of this stuff. They've got what they call evidence. Well, we got evidence for a creator too, but that gets ignored by them. They're not looking at things objectively. They've just simply changed sides. So I really don't agree with that at all either. I also don't believe that she is completely unbiased either, because I think she had reasons to want to not believe. She actually says that she became a progressive politically before she did the deconstruction. That automatically gave her a bias, because the Christian church world would look at the progressives as anathema to the faith. She knew that. She had also had people coming against her for being a progressive and saying you can't be a Christian and support the things that the progressives support, like abortion and stuff, which I agree with that. You can't be. But she had reason to want to leave the faith. I've seen this pattern a lot with a lot of the ones that deconstructed and became atheists. They became liberals politically before they became atheists. They did the deconstruction afterward. There was a part of them that wanted to no longer believe in God. So no, I don't believe that unbiased stuff at all. Has the ability to evaluate. I do too. I'm not going to tell you I'm unbiased. I believe in God. So I have a bias. But she was biased in having reasons not to want to believe in God. So no, I don't believe her at all about that. I don't think that she has a ability to be unbiased when she looks at information. I don't think so. No longer afraid of demons, the devil, and demonic things. Well, here's some news for you. I'm not afraid of demons, the devil, and demonic things, although I know they exist. I've actually been in church services before, and even outside of church, where I've come across somebody who was demon-possessed and had to be part of a group that was praying for them to cast out these devils. And they were doing crazy things before the devils were cast out. In one case, this lady was out in the cemetery howling like an animal. And when the devil was cast out of her, she was in her complete right mind, and she's been in her right mind ever since. Last I heard, she was a Christian missionary. And I've been in church services where I've actually witnessed somebody levitating off the ground because they were demon-possessed. I've seen them cursing, biting pages out of the Bible, just doing crazy things. And when the demonic spirit was gone, they were in their right mind. I've seen all this stuff. A lot of the stuff that you see depicted in movies like that one about Emily Rose, that stuff is real. Now, there is stuff that is highly embellished in movies. The Exorcist, they had stuff going on in there that's not realistic. A woman's not going to be able to turn her head all the way around and be okay. Her neck would be broken. So, I mean, obviously there's things that happen in the movies that don't happen during a real situation where somebody's demon-possessed. But demon possession is real. She doesn't have to believe in it, but it is still real. It's always been real all the way back to back to biblical times. And it's still real today. But I'm not afraid of demons. I'm not afraid of the devil. I'm not afraid of demonic things. When I was a child, before I was a Christian, I had a lot of weird experiences with supernatural things that were bothering me and scaring me. But you know what? That stopped after I became a Christian. All those things that were coming against me just stopped. And while I have still experienced some supernatural things, they don't scare me anymore because I know that God's power is greater than that of the devil. So I don't worry about it. But she acts like she used to be afraid of demons and the devil and demonic things. I'm not. I believe in them, but I'm not afraid of them. And then the last thing, no longer has to conform. And she's talking about how that Christians, would have problems with, and I already got ahead of myself on that. They have problems with LGBTQ, abortion, Democrat Party, and she's a progressive and all that kind of stuff. No longer has to conform. That is absolutely not true. Now that she's in that group, if she openly were to go against that group, they would be just as intolerant toward her as anything she saw with the Christians. Just look at some of the ways that that senator from up in Pennsylvania, the Democratic senator, has been treated just because he does things according to what he thinks is right. Fetterman, that's who it is, Senator Fetterman. Look at the way he's treated by the Democratic Party. He has to conform or he gets beat up by people's mouth, just like what she was experiencing within the Christian church. Again, all she has done is change sides. But if she thinks that her side is tolerant, she has no idea. She is going to, if she hasn't already experienced it, it's because she's just following their agenda all the way. And that's the reason. But if she ever crosses them, she'll find out in a hurry that no, she isn't free to not conform. She was always free not to conform, even in being a Christian. And there are churches out there that are not my idea of real Christian churches, but there are Christian churches that call themselves Christian, where she could have gone to and been accepted as a liberal, progressive. But she isn't going to find this acceptance if she tries to cross them. I guarantee it. Let her go out there now, and let's say that she were to decide that abortion was wrong after all. And then she was to make a video saying why and start defending the pro-life position, but remain a committed progressive. She's going to find out in a hurry how much, whether or not she is going to have to conform to get along. She'll find out in a hurry that as long as she takes a position that's outside of the Democratic position, no, she doesn't have any more freedom than she ever had. So I don't have any problem with her claiming that she feels more free or happy, but the reason that I'm choosing to rebut her video is because I think her video is completely misleading, and if she would be honest about it, she would have to acknowledge that basically all she's done is change sides, that these things that she's talking about, these 5 things, it's not the way that she's claiming it is. Maybe she hasn't really put any real thought in it, and she's just feeling more free right now. But again, let her become a free thinker as a progressive and have some conservative views and disagree with the Democrats. Let her defend Donald Trump on anything. I mean, even something that everybody should be in favor of. Let her defend him on anything openly on a video and watch and see how she's treated. Watch them start claiming that she drank the Kool-Aid or that she's now part of the MAGA cult or whatever, or they're getting to her. She's going to find absolutely no tolerance in that progressive movement. It's going to probably be worse because what I've been seeing coming from the progressive movement, there's more intolerance among them for anybody that strays than there ever has been with Christians. Because that group over there, they'll totally, they'll destroy her. Just let her try it. You just do it as an experiment even and see what happens. Defending Donald Trump for anything is the absolute thing that will just, it'll prove to her one way or another way that's true. I would guarantee you that if Donald Trump were to come up with a cure for cancer, there'd be people would find fault with it. They'd start attacking him for doing it for money or something or other, and they'd start attacking him. And if she were to defend him, they would destroy her for that. You know, so I mean, that's really how bad it is with the progressive. They have no tolerance for anybody that goes off their reservation. And again, that's just something that she needs to think about. But again, the channel is Skeptical Heretic. Again, I have no problem with her feeling more free or whatever. That's her business. But I'm just saying it's not reality. She just changed sides. That's all I want to say on today's Deconstructing Leftist program. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, I want to invite you to subscribe. And until the next video comes out, take care, everyone.